Hey, welcome everybody. It's another Sunday of the Petty Crew Radio Show. I'm your boy Boss Hog, host of the Petty Crew Radio Show with my lovely co-host, Roz. What's good, Roz?
Hey, out here trying to make it, trying my best to make it.
Listen, I think that's what we all trying to do in the middle of this pandemic because we are still in the pandemic. For you guys who haven't got your vaccines yet, man, listen, uh, do what's best for you. Just this past, I believe, I want to say Friday, I took my daughter. She got her first um, dose of the vaccine. And so, again, children who are 12, no, from, yeah, 12 to 16 are now eligible to get the vaccine. Hey, shout out. I see you, Francis. Thank you for tuning in. Again, thank everybody for tuning in. We have a great show. We're not going to hold you long. Let's jump right into it. We're going to talk Kwame Brown. He has been lighting up the internet ever since he has decided to step out from the shadows. I'm going to be real dramatic about this, Rod. He done stepped out of the shadows and he done lit up pretty much everybody who put his name in their mouth, from Becky with the good hair, Matt Bowens, Steven Jackson, Stephen A. Smith, Jamel Hill. He even went in on Charlemagne the God. And so we got to talk about it. If you guys that don't know what happened, let me take y'all back to the beginning because he done came out with so many videos now. So apparently, Matt Bowens, Becky with the good hair, Steven Jackson has a sports podcast called I'll Smoke or Want to Smoke or something like that, Up in Smoke, whatever it is. In any case, Miss Buss was on the show. She was talking about a trade. And I had to go back and watch the video because I heard them talking about it, but I had to go back and watch what they did. And she was talking about two people, and basically Matt Bowens reached over to Steven Jackson and kind of made a joke about, oh, it was only just really one player, to say that Kwame Brown was not a decent player. And it was all fun and jokes until, fast forward, Kwame Brown got word of it, and the rest is history. So we go stop right there. Roz, talk to me. Let me know because we got it's levels to this shit.
Well, I've watched at least 4 or 5 videos now, and well, you can't get it. Well, you can get into each and every situation of what he said, but I've been kind of listening mostly to what everybody else is saying about what he's saying, because what he's doing is just releasing. I mean, that's just he's the straw that broke the camel's back. That was the joke, right? And then now it's like, okay, well, since y'all want this, then let me give it to you. I've been sitting back. I've been laughing at your little skits. I've been, half, oh, that was a good one. But,
right.
They put on Facebook all the time, watch the ones that laugh in your face, because those are the ones that really doing you dirty behind your back. So now one too many people laughed. One too many people high-fived. One too many people gave a pat on the back, and he said,
I'm gonna light your ass up.
he had his little puffer. He said, now I'm ready. So
right.
How you roll the dice and say, who am I gonna start with today? Right. You? Let's talk about you and what you went through, homie, since you had so much to say about me. I'm for it. I'm fanning the smoke. I don't
right.
Is that how you fan? I'm fan. I don't know how you fan. Is that how you fan smoke?
Yeah, you got that right.
I'm fanning the smoke. Because people don't understand. I mean, not just with him, but with everything. You just can't keep punching people and not expect them to come back to you. Right. Just because they didn't say anything the first time, take that as a win and lay off. Don't keep coming back. I listened to the commentary of Shannon Sharpe. And he said on his, he was like, you guys have to understand this boy was 17. When he first came into the league, he wasn't 25. You can't treat him like a Jordan. You can't treat him or how you did such and such and how you did this. This boy's 17.
Right.
He don't know anything, but y'all steady piling on, steady making these comments, steady doing this. So he just finally opened up on you. So why are you mad at him? Why everybody now want to start having sidebar conversations? No, let's bring it to the forefront like you did the first time around. Don't call me now to apologize. This is what it is. You had your fun. Now it's my season. As Pastor Haynes always say, I'm in that line of people getting blessed, and I'm looking around seeing what am I next? Am I next? And I'm stepping. Am I okay? Now it's my time. So you ride on my wave because I'm coming for you. So I'm for him. If I can high five him, if I could send him a cash app to keep his podcast going, I'm for it.
Hey, you know what? You can. I'm gonna tell you something. I went to his because my homegirl the one that shot me, and I'm like, okay, I gotta play catch up.
Right.
And when I finally went to his YouTube, and again, we're talking about Kwame Brown, who is lighting up everybody.
And they mama. And they mama. And they baby mamas. He lighting up everybody.
He lighting up everybody. And the dope thing about it is like I said, I don't want people to miss is that he has a message with it. Nobody really heard this brother talk. He was in the league. He did what he did, and then when he got out after 12 seasons, which is commendable, after 12 seasons, he went on to live his life.
And mind you, he didn't have any negative stuff during this 12 years.
Not at all.
We got some people who's just signing the ink, and their name is already across there. He had good numbers. His stat was good. He wasn't the Jordan. He wasn't the Steph Curry, but he was a good person to go to if he was on your team. Right. But because of his silence, they felt like, okay, we can, I'm sorry, this is your segment. We can keep picking at him. And now he's like, you know what? I done did what I done had to do. I'm putting my records out there for you to see. But now since you want to play school your dog, 3:00.
Yeah. And like he said, by some people's standards, people said he was a bust because he was the number 1 draft pick. And what happened is he got tired of being the butt of every joke. Let's be real. He got tired of being the butt of every joke, the epitome of what a bust would look like. And so with that being said, and if you've been following it and everything that he's been saying, I want to just pull up a couple of things that he talked about. First and foremost, he's making it clear with all of them. Y'all are destroying black men. All y'all do is down talk black men. He went after Stephen A. Smith. He said the same thing, and I loved it. He told him, he said, you got a degree, and this is what you choose to use your degree for, to talk about black men. And what's so crazy is now when I look at them, and because I watch them anyway and know what it is, he's just exposing what us woke folks already know. Y'all are paid people to, all y'all do is talk about black men. He made a statement where he talked about how Deshaun Watson, y'all talk about him. He said, but when that white boy, and he said it, beat up our queen, that was a hot conversation. Y'all don't even talk about him no more. We don't even know his name. Y'all talk about him, y'all kept it moving, but y'all kept Deshaun Watson, y'all keep him in your conversation. I love how he addressed Jemele Hill. Now, I'm on Twitter too. And so I follow Jemele Hill. And I just knew it because she's a journalist. I knew she was going to open her mouth and tweet something, in which she did. And then he turned around, he addressed her so nicely, saying, hey, listen, first of all, this is a conversation amongst men. You are a black woman. Apparently your daddy, you wasn't raised around your daddy, because see, if you was raised around your daddy, you would know when men are talking amongst each other, you stay out of the conversation.
It's just like how your mom used to say, this is grown folks talking.
This is grown folks talking.
Right.
And he didn't disrespect her. He called her a queen. And I went back to her little tweet because I knew she was going to say something. And in the defense, all she said was, "Oh, I just used the word choose. Woo, 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 thank you," and kept it moving. I tweeted her and said, "No, the point is stay out of grown men business. That's what he's saying to you. You should have never said nothing." And that's what his point was. Why are you interjecting yourself in a conversation that is not even about you? It's not for you. This is for black men. We know who Stephen A is. You know, he'd have been called out before. We know what type of brother he is. So let's get off them and let's talk about Charlemagne the God.
See, now I have.
I'm gonna let you talk. Go on. I'll let.
No. Go ahead. I have just started loving Charlemagne the God.
You what?
Because I really didn't follow the Breakfast Club that much, to be honest. Mm-hmm. So I just start liking him because I just start, and he's controversial. He says some stuff I agree with, and then he says some stuff that I don't agree with.
He says some stupid shit.
Right. He does, but he's there for it too. He done been punched in the head walking down the street. He done been whatever he say he gonna stand behind. I guarantee you that much, because he'll tell you himself in several interviews that it's a whole lot of stuff that has happened that a whole lot of people don't know, to where he's been jumped. But he stands behind what he say.
No. He do. No, so let me. So Kwame.
We'll talk about Charlemagne on a whole nother thing. We'll get into what he said about Charlemagne.
Now, watch this.
I wholeheartedly believe, because people have came up to that studio to kill this man. Like, have brought, and I'm not talking about Birdman, because we still don't know what Birdman came up there for.
No, Birdman was really gonna send them goons. Kwame talked about that shit.
What was he? We didn't even understand what he was saying. Am I finished? Are y'all done? I couldn't even understand what he was saying.
The deal is with that is that Birdman did not do nothing, and we go jump into Kwame and him and they little beef, because this is a little bit more serious. Birdman didn't do nothing because he knew all Charlemagne would go do was sue him. That's it. He knew if I touched him, if I got somebody to touch him, if I did it here, all he go do. And this is why I want to bring up Kwame. And this is, with all of it, this is a little bit more serious. When what Charlemagne the God did was basically ran down a history or Kwame's Brown background regarding not him, but his family. His dad was in jail and did this, committed this crimes. His brother did XYZ. All to try to make it seem like, hey, on the surface, it looked like he's saying, well, you know what? You don't want to be messing with Kwame because, in other words, this nigga come from a background and he will see you. Well, Kwame had a problem with that because Charlemagne painted a narrative that was really not true. First and foremost, now Kwame got to get on and say, first of all, I didn't even know what the fuck my daddy was doing. You know, he has to put the pieces together for the people to see. One, I didn't even know nothing about a brother. I just met my brother. Right. And so as a man, I can understand where Kwame coming from. And basically he's saying, why would you be bringing up not my shit? Not that you can find something on me. Why are you talking about people I know? Why are you talking about my daddy? Why are you talking about my brother? Why are you talking about shit that I didn't even know nothing about? How you not know if I've even had this conversation with my son? You see what I'm saying? You know, because apparently he has a 16-year-old son. So, you know, at 16, guess what? I mean, you're on the internet and everything else. And so he said, how do you not know? For instance, my son didn't even know none of this information. One, that same brother you talking about locked up just went to work. So this is a little bit different because now the door is open for Kwame to talk about your past. Not your family, not your wife, yours. See, a lot of people don't know that, and it pop up every blue moon. A lot of people don't know that Charlemagne the God put himself in a compromised position at the age of 22, fucking with a 15-year-old. Yeah. And even though he was not convicted of rape, right? He admitted to and pled to a lesser charge. Right. So it wasn't that he didn't have sex with this 15-year-old minor. is he pled to? So he's not a rapist. You can call him what he's legally being charged as. And what happened is Kwame started talking about that. No, you're a rapist. Why are you on TV? They're protecting you. Because in the middle of Me Too, why is it? And we talked about this in this sports when we was doing all these sports segments. You seen them black men dropping like flies.
Right.
Not that they were convicted. Not that they ever. You ain't heard Donnie McNabb go to court yet, have you? And we talked about him, what, 3 years ago?
Right.
And he lost his job. And all these black men who would lose their job because people were coming out saying, well, oh, he had tried to make advances toward me. But here it is. That's why I said this is a little bit more serious. And so fast forward, because as Kwame keeps saying, this is we joking, right? Y'all said that this is jokes. So I'm just hitting y'all a little bit harder with mine. I say it all the time. My slugs go hit a little bit different when I joke.
Right.
Those jokes go be a little bit different. And what he's doing is
I'm going for the jugular.
Right. So the question that Kwame is raising is, how is this black man who was actually convicted of fucking with a 15-year-old still on national TV? Why is it that he haven't been removed in the era of this Me Too movement? And his stuff is public knowledge. So here comes Charlamagne. And every time they do something, all they're doing is proving Kwame. So in the latest episode of that is Charlamagne God then sent a cease and desist to Kwame.
Now, like I said, in all fairness,
I'm listening.
I'm gonna tell you what I tell people when they frown up at my response. You started this,
right?
So Charlamagne, you started this. So if you know, as I tell you all the time, when we're talking about subjects, I'm speaking for the people that can't be here.
Right.
Charlamagne, you might want to speak for the people that can't be there. Don't say I, or let somebody else run with that story. If you know you got some stuff in your background,
come on,
that you don't want to come out, because just how you researched it, this man ain't got to do all day but smoke his hookah. He is on it. And it looks like he's been taking notes since day one. It looks like he had a what is that, composition pad? That's black and white with composition in the middle. Note taking, some note cards, because the stuff that he was bringing up didn't happen yesterday. It didn't happen 2 weeks ago. Right. This stuff that has been happening. So he's just been sitting back in the cut, getting his check, buying his time, getting his little numbers, being an assistant player. And now he said, you know what? I got time today. I just heard the song from the rapper. Can't even think of his name. Should be my theme song now that I think about it. Time today. He said, I looked at my watch and I got time today. Kwame said, I got all week. I can sell out arenas today because I'm for it. But with Charlamagne the God, it ain't nothing you can do. What can you do? Because it's facts. The record wasn't expunged. It's out there for public knowledge. You threw the first rock. The only thing is that his house was stoned. He's shattering your glass shit over here, and you mad behind it. Well, then don't say nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I understand you're a journalist. I understand you're supposed to report all this stuff, but now look at how you feel. Because one day your kids are going to Google Charlamagne the God, and that shit is going to be out there, and they're going to see the same thing that this man kid is looking at now about his grandfather that he knew nothing about until much later in life.
So like now watch this. So this is from I got shout out to D.L. Patterson of Patterson Clothing Line. He done checked in. Shout out to brother Raymond. He checking in as well. Easy Ray. He says because he wasn't convicted of messing with a minor, he pled to delinquency of a minor for him having a party that the minor attended and was raped at. Then he goes on to say he supplied DNA that showed he didn't have sex with her. So let me go and get you really caught up. The young lady that's in question of this has already come out. I watched the video this morning. So let's talk about what is the definition of delinquent of a minor. I'm glad y'all asked. Adults who persuade or help minors commit acts of juvenile delinquency may be charged with the crime of contributing to the delinquency of a minor. A minor is anyone under the age of majority. Then it goes on to say any action by an adult that allows, encourage. Okay, that's one. Where's the other one that I looked up? Here we go. Because I looked all this little stuff up before we did this show. Because in either way, that's not delinquency to a minor is not minor. I just want to make sure we're clear about that. We're not talking about somebody who gave somebody something to drink. That's not kind of what that is. It says contributing to the delinquency of a minor is a crime that can be charged when a person acts or fails to act in a way that causes a minor to engage in illegal or delinquency of a minor, to become habitual or to become a dependent of the juvenile court system. It says what happens if you commit a crime. That's a little bit different. So again, even though he was not convicted of rape, and again, let me say it again, she has come out. She has done an interview and she talks about it. Just because, and we said this on this show, and we use R. Kelly as a prime example, just because it wasn't proven, just because you was not convicted. Now, mind you, R. Kelly this nigga still ain't showed up to court yet. Just because it was not proven does not mean it didn't happen. We ain't talking about a simple party that was for everybody, and so we got you. No. He had already admitted that he was giving Spanish fly. He's joked about it. Now, if a woman's out because she talks about how she was drinking and that she started feeling funny, let me say it again, she's come out to do an interview. So again, just because he was not convicted of rape, because again, if you're smart and if you don't want to have any DNA, what are you going to use? A condom. So where would be the DNA if you're using a condom and a woman is out? He don't get a pass because he pled to a smaller. We're not gonna. I get where you're going. They had witnesses when it happened that said that he wasn't there when it happened. Dios, let's not defend this brother. He invited a 15-year-old to a party. It wasn't she heard from other folks. He was trying to get with the bride. He was 22, 15. If you look at it, okay, 15, 22, you count a couple of years. You know, if this was 22 and what, 30, you know what I'm saying? We'll look at it a little bit different. She was 15. He was 22. The point is that what Kwame was trying to point out is regardless, you were convicted of something. How you still on. The little girl turned around and said that she remembers being penetrated. Not no homeboy, not no dudes. Charlemagne. Now I'm not gonna say that this woman is lying. I don't know. But what I do know with females who I have female friends who have been in a situation, compromising situation, they shit is always the same. Might be a different person, but that story is always the same when it comes to how they were assaulted or whatever you want to call it. You get what I'm saying? So my point is with Kwame, what he's doing is, and all he's saying is, listen, you shut up. Stop putting my name in my mouth. Stop even talking about my family because, see, you have a past that's checkered. And what he don't want is to see now everybody's starting to come out on Charlemagne. Even Wendy Williams' ex-wife, ex-husband. He like, oh, I see Charlemagne name is back in the, I got some shit to really throw out there.
I'm waiting on that.
I'm waiting on it. Like I said, I just watched the video of the young girl who gave the interview. I want
receipts on that one.
You know what I'm saying? And so, do we look at her and say she's lying?
Because what they say, where there's smoke, there's always fire.
And again, he pled to a lesser charge. let me go on and take this. Let's keep this moving. The point is that where the whole ass nigga come in at of being Charlemagne the God is, like Kwame said, I don't care if you sending attorneys. Guess what? This nigga done made over $70 million. Clearly he's smart. You ain't heard about him having financial issues.
Right. Right.
He's like, okay, so I can get attorneys too. He said, well, let me do this. Let me retract the R word. You was convicted of delinquency to a minor. It don't matter. The point is you got a record. The point is that how you talking, you know, about me. And I would be upset too if you bringing up people in my family that, for one, I didn't probably know of. This nigga said I had never even met my brother before when all this shit was going on. I mean, it's not a good look. And what Kwame doing is exposing what we already know. He keep talking about that machine. We already know about that machine. We talking about the white zaddy. He keep talking about that. How about we just not mention Kwame? And I'm on Twitter, but I'm talking about you in a positive manner, player. I love it. Let me tell you how major they made him. I went to his YouTube page, right? He had a few subscribers. He wasn't getting nothing no more than like 600 views, which made me feel good because I'm like, this nigga's an NBA basketball player. He's somewhat a little famous, right? And he wasn't getting number 600 views prior to the whole blow up. Now he's financially gaining from the whole situation now. You get what I'm saying? Now right. He gets 42,000 views, 100-some thousand views, all because this nigga said, I got time today. I done waited 20 years. Like you said, he done took that notebook, that notepad, wrote everything down, told Becky with a good hair, you talking about me being mad, nigga, you jumping your own gate to go fight a dude in your crib. Nigga say, how you gonna jump your own gate like you have a key to your own gate? He say, because you just that emotional. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I'm mad. I'm mad.
Why he puffing on his hookah stick? This is like, he relaxed coming for you. He's not even riled up. So you jumping your own gate?
Yeah, that's what he said. He's like, you jump, I'm mad. No, what your wife got taken from you by your teammate. No, that's what mad looked like. I'm like, you don't want to shoot it with him.
He been writing jokes, crossing them out. No, that don't sound right. Let me reword. No, that don't sound right. While you was talking about the other one, I looked up some of the backstory on that rape case, and I see that D.O. Patterson said they had a witness when it happened that said he wasn't there when it happened, but Charlemagne has never said he wasn't there when it happened.
Right.
He has never said I wasn't there. And the only reason why they didn't charge him with rape, because that was the reason why he was picked up, if you look at the arrest affidavit, was because they felt like they wasn't going to be able to get that to stick because she had been on drugs. He did give her something that tasted like soda, as she mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of made her woozy, but it was the second female also at that party that had the same experience.
Right.
And just because the DNA wasn't found on them, just like you said, condom, she was lucid. She was probably relaxed and couldn't fight him off, couldn't scratch him. So nothing was on her body to prove that he did it. And plus the influence of drugs, because immediately after the party, they went to the hospital. So something happened. It was at your residence or wherever you was hosting this party, and you didn't say you wasn't there. Somebody else said, oh, I didn't see him. Well, maybe you was in a whole other room, but he was there because he has never said in any statement that he wasn't at this location when all this stuff went down. Just to answer Mr. Patterson's response.
Right. And so she says, so this morning when I was watching it, she says she was trying to help her friend because he the one that gave them the drinks.
Right.
So she said she was helping her and noticed she started to feel kind of woozy, her legs kind of giving out on her, whatever the case may be. So apparently whatever they were drinking, they both got it. And again, it doesn't matter. It was his invitation to her. Not a homegirl, you know, not a cousin. It was him who. So the question, like Kwame says, why you, or what I'm asking, fuck just him. Why are you asking a 15-year-old to a party?
Right.
First of all, why are you conversating with a 15-year-old like that anyway?
In the first place,
I don't know myself to hold a conversation with a 15-year-old girl at all. And outside of my nieces, my daughter, right. You ain't gonna catch me talking to no 15 unless it's one of my boys or my homegirls' daughters in a surrounding a home. You get what I'm saying?
Right. Another adult will be there, and I won't be inviting them out unless everybody coming. Right. Unless my 15-year-old daughter is coming with their 15-year-old girl, but it's not just gonna be me and them.
Right. So Dios, and then we're gonna keep this moving. Dios said now he could have been lying, but he said when it happened that he wasn't present during the case. Well, the problem is if you weren't there, why did you preach or something? That doesn't even make sense. Because see, that would be the equivalent of if you watch the movie of the 5 guys who were convicted in New York. You know, they did a little special. And the dad was trying to tell the dad, one of the guys, hey, just say you did it. They were trying to do it. If you wasn't there, why did you plead to a lesser charge? I wasn't there.
Right. That's why I said he never said it, but somebody else said it. I mean, he just said that he feels guilty that a 15-year-old, that minors were there and they had got so inebriated that they didn't know what was going on. So that's what he's stepping forward to the mic and saying, this is my part in this, not the rape part. My part is that they were at my party and I didn't take responsibility for being at my party. You didn't say you invited them. You didn't say any of that. You just said, and just like I told you earlier, I just really got to know Charlamagne because I've never really listened to the Breakfast Club. So I've been kind of going back and forth with some of their shows now. He has spoken honestly and open. He done been hit in the head. He done been started out. His life done been threatened. All of that. But now that it's coming back on you, you see how those people feel who you done threw up under the... it's open honesty for anybody. I like Charlamagne. I listen to some of his stuff. I think he's an okay guy. I just think this one, he just went just a little bit too far. You know how you put your toe in the water? And then... Well, I was just going to say, I just think he took it just a little bit too far on this one. Because if this man didn't even know where his daddy was, didn't know he had brothers, didn't know he had all this other stuff, to me, that's a conversation with this brother and say, hey, you know, it's some shit out there now that you don't put all this out here that's probably going to come back and get you. So I'm being me, I'm just letting you know about it. Probably gonna comment on it once everybody else comment on it because that's just my job, being in the radio, thing. But I'm just letting you know, hey, you might want to be prepared for the other shit that's gonna come out the water. Not bring it out the water to this man's face, but hey, some stuff gonna come out there on you. Right. Just let you know.
And like I said, I mean, my thing, like I tell people, it become fair game. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. I'm not even knocking Charlamagne forward. You started, Kwame said, I'm going to finish it. Now, Charlamagne didn't care if it was right or wrong, if he got all of it together, the nuances of every situation or whatever. But Kwame said, again, I got time for it. I'm going to sit in my little old Denali. Like he said, I didn't know what Denali wasn't, like that's a bad thing to have a Denali truck. I'm on my land in my truck. I would be upset that you would be putting out my family business, and I've never said nothing about my family business. For Charlamagne to then turn around and throw attorney into the situation just show you a hoe. Right. And he showed exactly what Kwame has been saying. You have to be every bit of a hoe to turn around and say, well, but again, remember, these are jokes. If you can talk about my family, if you can talk about, because like he said, well, then what I need to do is give my attorney too, because we definitely have a defamation of character lawsuit, because one, you talking about my brother that you don't know, you spoke in a manner that was not truthful, that will be it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And now I don't know if Charlamagne the God then came back out and said, you know what, I want to apologize. Like Kwame has always said, listen, I talked to these brothers before it even went here. I reached out to them. Hey, what's up? Matt Bourne said, hey, we were just joking. No, it really wasn't no joke. It's a joke now that has been brought to your attention. You know how people are. Listen, here are a couple of things I realized from this situation. I'm always trying to find what's the point of it. What can you learn from it? Number one, don't joke with people you don't know you can joke with. That's number one.
Right.
Don't joke with people you don't know that you can crack jokes with. Two, keep people names out your mouth, and then you would never have this situation. Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson thought that they could make an underhanded joke, and they were going to get away with it. I heard a brother say yesterday on Facebook, he was telling me, he said, well, you know, he can't get mad because everybody that made him the butt of the joke. I said, and Kwame addressed that. He said, but see, we're in a fraternity of basketball players. I don't care about everybody else, but amongst each other, that ain't what we do. And then he hit it where it really hurt, because the truth is I told my brother about 2 weeks ago in sports, we were talking about track. I was very good in track, very, very good in track. I said, I can't hold a conversation with mediocre people in track because I broke records. You get what I'm saying? I can't hold with. So Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson are mediocre players trying to talk about a guy who made history. You follow what I'm saying? And that's what Kwame is also saying. Y'all talking about me and mine. Y'all were role players too. I can't be so bad that nobody didn't even know who I was and I was the number one draft pick. Because the truth is, back then, nobody didn't know nothing about Kwame Brown. He came out of the blue. And so that's what he's saying. How dare you guys make yourselves to be more than who y'all are, when at the end of the day, when you look at it, who was Matt Barnes? He was a role player. He wasn't a star. Who was Steven Jackson? He was a role player on every team he went to. Baron Davis was the star of the Warriors back then. You get what I'm saying? And then you got the role players. Then Steven Jackson went to San Antonio, but you had the Admiral, you had Tim Duncan, you was a role player. Now you won a championship, but you wasn't, one of the top guys. And so again, this is a lesson that needs to be learned. If you don't want to play with, if you don't want folks to come at you, don't come at them. Leave people alone. If you don't want folks to dig up your history, and Skip Bayless said something too. You talking about Shannon Sharp. And then we're going to go to our relationship. We're going to just do our relationship segment after this. Skip Bayless said, what had happened is you had two people who forgot that they were living in a glass house trying to throw rocks. You can't throw rocks living in a glass house.
Right, and that's
got the same thing. You can't throw rocks, and you always definitely living in a glass house. And so again, man, I love it. I'm glad that this brother has decided to stand up for himself. How can the bullied now is he done reversed it and now he's the bully? Right. You know what I'm saying? Let me go on the bully y'all since y'all been doing that to me 20 years. He said, y'all thought I went through something? How y'all gonna crack jokes on a nigga who walked barefooted up and down the street? If that ain't the most transparent and honest moment, what he's saying is nigga, whatever y'all talking about ain't worse than what I done grew up in.
Right.
You talking about a 17-year-old, he said, I put my mama on the golf course in her house. She can walk out and play 18 rounds of golf. And what did you say? Ain't never had a bad history, did anything
right,
wrong.
That's what he's never been in the media, ever. Not on some negative stuff.
D.L. Madison said, now I'm not going to call him a hoe, LOL, but yeah, that was a week to send that cease and desist. No, that's a hoe move. We got to call it for what it is. You can't shoot a shot. And it didn't go nowhere when you fact checked and then you exposed.
Right.
And then say, let me send you a cease and desist. Not that you suing them. You need to cease and desist. Well, all he did is said, I don't give a fuck. Okay, I can't call you no rapist.
Let me change the wording.
Just let me change the word. He said it still don't matter because you were still convicted of something. It's public record. You still have a record. Why are you still on TV?
Right.
Somebody has to be protecting you. He said it makes sense. So why you and DJ Envy playing these little games? Listen, he gave DJ Envy a mold of his butt. Yeah, Roz. Now I don't watch the Breakfast Club like that, but I do watch when certain people are on, like Omar, what's his name? Omar Johnson, the little, psychology doctor dude. The Boyce Watkins, Farrakhan, shit like that.
Right.
Yes, he gave DJ Envy a mold of his butt and balls. So when Kwame is sitting up here like, oh, you on that funny shit, he's telling the truth. Who gives a man a mold of their butts? Supposed to be a heterosexual. Listen, I love Easy Ray, and he can attest to this. He used the word gay on our show. And you notice my whole tone changed. You was there, Rob, and I love Easy Ray to death. We chop it up. He make my t-shirts. But a heterosexual man don't play with that word like that. It just does something to us.
Right. No, I get it.
DJ Envy was like, no, you do that to me, we're gonna have words outside this show. We go talk outside the show.
Now I'm having to look it up.
So listen, man, like I said, man, y'all just stay tuned to the saga. So let's go on and keep it moving. Got an interesting, we always have an interesting relationship segment. And I'm going to read this statement and I'm going to show you guys a picture and we're going to talk about this. It never fails, this whole conversation of being taken care of, women trying to tell men what their responsibility is supposed to be and all this other good shit. So here we go right here. For you guys that are looking, this is an actual picture from my timeline that I took from a young lady. For you guys, if you see it, that says, so let me get this straight. If a man is not the sole provider, then he shouldn't expect submission from a woman and isn't fit to be a leader. Correct. Let me say that again. So let me get this straight. If a man is not the sole provider, then he shouldn't expect submission from a woman and isn't fit to be a leader. Correct. Before I weigh in on this, what's your thought, Roz? Talk to me.
Mine is quick. And I've said this 100 times before. I don't care how contemporary I present myself on some of the stuff that I say, but I am strictly Bible based when it comes to this. A man is the head of the household. My husband. Let me put that husband, not checkmate, not somebody we're going to get some fries with,
right?
Not somebody I plan on ghosting in the next couple of days. Husband is the head of my household. I don't care how much money I make versus how much money he makes. And I've dated people to where I made more money because I have been lucky in the jobs or career choice that I've had, that I bring in good money. I've dated people that made more money than me. But once again, this is not my husband. If we're married, I follow the Bible teachings. He is the head of my household. And people have to understand when the word submissive is thrown out there, it don't mean you come in and as soon as you open the door, you bow down at the end of the hallway and take off his slippers and get his coat and all this. That's crazy as fuck. Now, if we want to role play Coming to America,
did you say that's crazy?
Yeah, if we want to role play Coming to America every now and then,
right?
And he King Joffrey and I take his coat and whatever you like, yes. But everyday life, no. So you have to look up that word submission, and we can go ahead and type it in right now. Submission definition. The act of accepting or yielding to superior force or the will of authority of another person. Act of surrendering to hold one's opponent. Humility, meekness, the action of presenting a proposal, application, or other document or a consideration or judgment. And then you have to make sure that he's of the Bible also, because it tells you, yes, your husband is the head of your household, but he should take in account everything that make a factor and make the decision that's best for the household, not just for him. So now if you don't went out there and said yes to a food, that's on you. That don't have nothing to do with anybody else. But my answer is straightforward. I don't agree with that statement or anything like that. If I'm married, God has sent me the right one. He is the head of my household. And as a wife, yes, I will be submissive to my husband.
So Brother Raymond says, again, shout out Brother Raymond from checking in. Easy Ray says, being submissive is not the same as submission. So I looked up submissive, and it says to be submissive is to obey or yield to someone else. When you are submissive, you submit to someone else's will, which literally you put your own desire lower than theirs.
Right.
So when I read this statement and I seen the correct, first of all, it's two different things going on in this statement. And I hate when people like even make statuses trying to make one point, but you're really talking about two different things to make one point. So the first part of it says, let's get this straight. If a man is not the sole provider, then he shouldn't expect submission or a submissive. Okay, so let's stop right there. First of all, what is considered a sole provider? Are we talking financial? Are we talking? So who are you? So a woman tells me, listen, you need to be the sole provider. I'm going to ask, so how do that look? Are you telling me basically you're going to be here, you're going to be a paperweight while I do everything? You follow what I'm saying, Rod?
I'm thinking, and we can just take the context because there's so many things we can go through with that. I'll just take the context with this particular one, money.
Okay, so
I'm thinking, so let's just base it on money. If he is not bringing in 100% of the money, then he shouldn't expect submission from a woman, and he isn't fit to be a leader. Well, I don't know who they're marrying, or if you ever look at statistics or the average income of even middle class families. And most of them, it takes two. In most cases, now you have some out there that yes, one can do it. I'm sure on my check I can take care of my household by myself, but it's so much better with Cohen's coming in from other locations. I mean, I operate myself right now, and I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm a hustler by nature. Right. I operate on at least 4 or 5 different incomes coming into me. I have one job, but I have 4 hustles that constantly goes. So I just like to see my money coming in.
Right.
If I'm married, my hustle is not going to stop. I'm not going to leave it to him to say, hey, and I don't care if he can take care of the household and not sit at home. It sets us up in a position to where we can retire early. If I'm still working, we can do so much other stuff with both checks. Yeah, he may be able to take care of the house financially, but I got vacations. I got the grandkids' college funds. I got a second retirement. I got our play money, so to speak. If you have a job that can take care of all of the core bills and still do vacations, still keep up the car, still do all this, then my money is going straight to the bank for whatever rainy day that is. Why am I going to sit at home all day and do what? What am I doing?
Well, first of all, let me commend you for putting your education to use and playing and throwing that money word in there. Because I'm looking at you read this shit, and I'm like, look at Roz. She done just really flipped the whole thing. So then am I in a marriage if, because it sounds like then it's more of a transactional shift. Easy Ray says being submissive to some means slave, which it is not when it comes to marriage. So I'm just trying to get it. So money, then he shouldn't expect submission. So basically, so this status is saying, so if I'm not the sole provider of everything, my wife, and let's move submission. How about we put the word respect in there? How about that, Roz? Then then he shouldn't expect the respect from a woman and isn't fit to be a leader. You know, again, this comes from a thinking in which, from a young lady on my Facebook page, and her followers kind of push this narrative that everything should be done. I can talk about it now because I'm always officially divorced. That's exactly what this heifer thought. Oh, you do everything. You need to pay for everything under the sun.
We're just gonna use for people that I know. We don't want to put everybody's stuff out there. So people
listen. I'm not saying that, Roz.
For people that I don't know or I had the experience of.
Oh, right.
Thank you. Believe in that. I had the experience of, and then let's go.
Okay, because I had the experience of a young lady. For you guys that know, I was married at one point in time in my life, way back in the day. And I experienced that where literally that's it. And so, but again, I just ask any woman who come with that narrative is, how does that look? Like Roz said, it's talking about money. So am I paying for everything? Like Roz said, so if I'm paying for house, home, car note, bills, what do you got? Do you got kids' clothes? Do you have, groceries? Do you have washing? Do you have the vacations? Do you have doctor's appointments? I mean, what does that look? Because when you say sole provider, what you're saying is you want to pimp me. Well, I get what in return? So basically, as a black man who already is beat up and down as we know it, you need to die working and busting your butt to take care of everything. And then I see why women live longer than we do. While we dying out here trying to get to the money and pay everything. I'm just saying, Raj, you laughing, but I'm dead ass serious.
And I only say that because somebody else had said that literally 2 weeks ago. And they said men die earlier than women because we are here trying to get that woman that want us to kill ourselves to provide for her instead of her helping, and we can both live the same life.
Right.
Is what it was. That's why I said mine is easy. I mean, I can go in here and be contemporary. I may say some fly mouth shit, but when it comes to my home life, if I'm married, yes, my husband will be the head of my household. He will have the final decision in 90% of the stuff that goes on. And I know that I will follow this man because he has been the one that not I chose, but the one that God had chose for me and to lead me in my household. So I'm not scared to be that person to sit back. And then I like to be financially stable. I don't like to have to wait for another paycheck to do anything.
Right.
If somebody say, hey, let's go eat 7 days a week, I'm ready. And I don't have to wait for him to give me permission to go and eat because it's his money. Because to me, that's what you're setting yourself up for. Hey, I need some new shoes. Do you mind? Hey, I need some such and such. Can I? No, we both got money coming in here. Our savings is good. Our checkings is good. The cars are good. The kids are taken care of. The grandkids, everything. This is my money that I'm going to do this with. Now we'll give you a courtesy text. Hey, I'm going out with the girls. Your shit is on the stove or in the microwave or wherever you like to eat it or whatever you do. But we out tonight, whatever that situation is. But it's not I don't know. And I'm thinking she's probably young. Most young people, that's the thought process these days. It's not a lot of them that have the go get it spirit anymore that we had. So if he's not taking care of me, if he's not doing this, if he's not doing that, which is good, and you may even get that guy, but what does that come with? What now what does that come with? Because let me tell you, I've seen it to where she got him and it was good until that one day he got upset and now you battered. Now you're bruised. Now you can't even wear certain stuff. You can't go certain places. You can't do anything without his permission because that's how you set it up because you wanted him to be the sole provider. So guess what you are to him? Another one of his kids that he's taking care of. And that's how he's treating you.
And when I think about it, I'm listening to you talk. The truth is you have become submissive and don't even realize it because now you've submitted to the fact that you are literally waiting on him. Not necessarily a negative thing, but I'm just saying where you're talking about I'm not gonna be submissive and respect him, but the truth is that you are because like you said, now I gotta wait till your payday. I gotta wait. Now I can always say something to you, and you probably give it to me, but I'm always having to say something to you because if a man is trying to take care of everything, he's gonna forget something. So you're going to be saying something. Hey, we need this. Hey, we need this. Hey, I need you to make sure you do that. But the truth is you have become submissive. It might not be in the manner in which you think it is, but now that you become submissive, technically you just become controlled. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Easy Ray done said something slick on here.
Oh, you talking about when he says, "Get your coat and don't say goodbye to nobody." Okay. Okay, Anime.
I know, right?
But no, I've seen it. But I'm just saying, like you said, that's really what you setting yourself up. I tell people that, especially when they're out of time, you think you want that until he knock your ass upside your head.
Right. You have to be.
That comes with control.
Right. You have to be. It's very few men out there that don't get the dominant mindset when they're bringing in everything. Because now, in their head, you need them. Because what other financial backing do you have to get away from this person? And I'm sure you've probably alienated your family, alienated your friends, or you're not telling the truth to these people. So when you do need to go, nobody knows how to help you because they're flung into this situation. Right? So you, as somebody put on Facebook, somebody said they pray for a husband and they got somebody else's. You might want to start going into the fine print on these legal documents and asking for what you want exactly. I want him to take care of me solely and also be independent. You might want to put all that into that verbiage. So you get the solely, but then you don't have to be a prisoner in your own home also. I'm not saying that it's not going to happen or that people don't have that because they do. But you want to make sure you ask for, because she probably asked for all her stuff. She probably had the bullet points on her presentation to God when she was asking for it. You just general. I want to be taken care of. Okay.
Right.
There you go.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like I said, I love some of the stuff, but it comes from that ideal of he has to do everything. Again, not realizing in 2021, like you said, you can't do it. Hell yeah, I wouldn't give a damn if you make more, you make the same, you make less. It look a hell of a lot different when we both bringing in money. You know what I'm saying? And so, I gotta really work forever because I don't know when I'm gonna retire. Because if I'm trying to take care and pay everything, how do I have time to put back money for retirement? You get what I'm saying? You want me to run my ass to the ground, so then when I die, you gonna be the beneficiary? And you show enough good. I just think there's a evil motive behind that way of thinking. That's just really how I see it. So basically, that's what it looked like. As a black man, I need to jump up, kill myself to make sure I cover everything financially. And then when I die, you still benefit from the. How did I benefit?
Right.
How was I helped?
You don't have a nice life insurance policy.
Look. My evil ass, that should go to my kids. Malaya, I'm just telling you now, you got it. she gonna come to your ass about it. I'm evil like that. If I don't care if I'm married and you come to me on that type of shit, oh, we good. If I'm finna work my ass to death, my daughter, my son, you get what I'm saying? They go win from it. I'm gonna be like, I got you while I was living. You gotta find the next sucker. As maybe my children, might want to help you, throw you 20 G's or something or whatever and keep you going. But I'm evil like that. Like I said, man, I just thought it was worth talking about. We keep seeing this whole ideal and it just doesn't work. We see it doesn't work. The number one reason black folks get divorced is money. Why in the hell are you pushing an ideal it doesn't work for us? You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't work, that whole idea. Now, if I'm a millionaire, even then, what do you go bring to the table? I don't want just a paperweight, because then what use really are you? Right. You know what I'm saying? Hell, I can pay for a nanny if I'm a millionaire. Hell, I can halfway do that now. Pay for somebody to clean, cook. I do. So I thought about
it. I know Zachariah is living a high life over there.
Kinda, sorta. But kind of, sorta. I need to find me while we talking and I'm being funny. I need to find me a new cleaning lady. So I'm like, I can pay for that now. Somebody to come through, clean the crib. So if I can pay for somebody to do that, then what are you here for? Because 9 times out of 10, if you just a bump on the log, can I talk to you about my inner problem? You know what I'm saying? If I can pay for that, what good are you? I mean, come on now. But listen, thank everybody for tuning in. I appreciate it. Normally we have, 3 or 4 subjects. I think now, going on our 4-year anniversary. And just so you guys know, I didn't make a big deal about it this past week, but May 21st made 4 years officially of the Petty Crew radio show. So thank everybody who has supported us over these past 4 years. I have to be honest with you guys as I tell you, man, it's a struggle. If you notice, man, you hadn't been seeing us in like the past couple of weeks. I wake up and be like, it's okay if I don't do a show today. You know what I'm saying? I wake up. It's not that sometimes I just don't have the motivation, and I don't mind being honest about it. I'm excited next Sunday. I believe not next Sunday, whatever June the 6th is, which is I think in 2 weeks. We will have the cast of Heavy, the movie, who will be joining us. There's going to be one familiar face that's really going to stand out. He's been in a lot of movies, so I'm excited about that. If you haven't liked us on Facebook, please do so. Instagram, Twitter. Shout out to all our Twitter watchers. Shout out to our Instagram watchers. Shout out to our YouTube watchers, as well as our faithful on Facebook. With that being said, I'm gonna turn it over to Raj. Talk to me.
What are we talking about?
We're ending the show, Raj. Do you want to say bye? Thank you for tuning in.
I was dying. Sorry. I was over dying. Give me a second.
While she's trying to get it together.
I went back and got my braces put on. I put some wax in there, and a piece slipped off and hit the side of my throat. So I'm trying not to die over here.
Please don't.
And especially not have these eyelashes come off on live TV. Let's not do that. Let's keep it cute. Let's keep it cute.
Right.
No, same thing. 4 years. Wow, I haven't been here for all 4. I think I got in on 2 and 3.
Raj, you came
because you had people before me, so I wasn't here for all 4.
You came in at the beginning of the first year, Raj.
Did I?
Yes. You got to remember. You got to remember.
Time. I don't. Me and Tom don't work with time and birthdays. I'm out.
Yes, you got to remember. That's when I let go of like 4 or 5 folks. So that's when it was Easy Ray, KB.
Wow. We need to do a reunion show. See if we can get everybody on. Well, it has been joyous and just like Boss Hog has said, some days I'm only on every other week for right now because of other stuff that I have going on. I don't want to put too much on my plate. Work, my grandkids, hustle. I'm starting with a whole new company from the ground up, so it's a lot of groundwork that I didn't know, and some of the stuff I kind of get up and do on Sundays because Saturdays is filled, and especially now that we finna open back up, I'm sure it's going to be a lot of stuff. I'm sure in the near future that will change to where I am on every week, but I like being on here. I like the people that watch. I like the relationships that we have from this. I mean, we have lifelong friends that we've met from this show, right? That we still keep in contact with, that I still do business with, that I still partner on some stuff with, still promote, right? I see people different places that know me that I have no idea who they are, right? Because they'll see my face and be like, oh, I know you, you're on the radio, and I'll be like, yeah. You know, like I met one of the former co-hosts here that works at a local barbecue place, and she said that she was like, "Hey, Roz," and you know me, I know a lot of people, but I don't know a lot of people. So it's like, where you know me from? Because you're using a tag name, you didn't use the government. Where you know me from? And they'll, oh, okay, hey, how you doing, sweetheart? You know, such and such, such and such, and going by the business. So it has been a treat being on here. I remember when you first asked me to come on, I actually asked like 7 or 8 people, how do y'all think I do on the radio? How do y'all think it'll come? And I heard, I mean, one person, I still have their message that says, your response to shit is gonna be what's funny because you don't hold it back. And I think that's the part that's gonna excel you in this new endeavor. So thank you to the supporters. Thank you, of course, to Boss Hog for giving me a chance. Thank you to the people that listen, that keep us going, to the comments, to the people that we see on the street, especially the people in organization, because they support us 100%.
Right.
I mean, like we will go to these conventions and I see the Perry-Q t-shirts, you know, that they have purchased. You know, from whatever that we're doing. If we have a raffle or join or whatever, they're there to support. So thank you guys. I am so humble to have this experience. And I just want to see where this thing goes. As you know, as we say, we're gonna ride it till the wheels fall off.
Yeah, listen, we're gonna be in our 40s. Well, shit, we already there in our 50s, 60s and all that. But like I said, man, you know, I didn't make a, you know, this year I just didn't make a big deal about it. And because I'm like, fuck it, we here. You know, when you become a staple, you ain't got to keep reminding people, oh, hey, it's our anniversary. You know, I woke up and I looked at my phone and I was like, shit, we still here. You know, and we, you know, it's a lot of different things that are in the work. Like I said, you know, we've had major guests. I don't try to come out as major, but it's major when I'm contacted to say, hey, we want to talk about our movie, you know, on the show. Who you laughing at, Roz?
Raymond, I can't stand him.
What do you say? Hey, Dio says, I remember Roz being on with Bree. You go all the way back. That's at the beginning.
Raymond says, before Kim did the short stint, LOL, and then Roz, show your stomach like you used to in season 2.
Yeah.
This stomach has developed some weight. I don't have my Spanx on today.
And then everybody
catch me in 2 weeks when heavy be on. I have my Spank on in.
Yeah, and all I hear from women is, man, this pandemic done put weight on the nigga. This pandemic done hit y'all. So, you know, we understand. Again, thank everybody who support us. Like Roz was saying, you know, we're always looking for new guests. If you have a topic, something you want us to discuss, again, we go talk about it. So definitely, you know, you can always shoot us a message. And like I said, man, thank everybody. Listen, also before I am rocking Dominating on Purpose every day. the shirt that I got on actually is a sweatsuit. You probably seen it maybe a month or so ago when I wore it. I went down to Mississippi. I have a classmate, and I'm sure you guys remember the story. It was in the news of the bicycler who was killed in a hit and run. Well, that bicycle guy was the brother of the brother to my classmate. He played baseball, he played football, he was a family man. In any case, my classmate, who already has a clothing business, has created a 501c3 nonprofit called Line Drive Cares. And so every purchase of every shirt of dope, every sweatsuit, anything literally strictly goes to that nonprofit. They give out scholarships to students. And so I have like maybe 3 and 2 more athletes that are coming on the way. And what's so cool is you have the opportunity when you go to Line Drive Cares, not with a C, but with a K, linedrivecares.com.
Oh, I'm sorry. Press wrong button.
Yeah, it's all good. Okay. You can get this in multitude of colors. You can do white and red. You can do white and blue, black and blue. Whatever it is, you can custom make your own dope apparel. And again, it goes to a great cause. All proceeds of everything that's purchased from that clothesline will go to a scholarship to some deserving team. With that being said, thank you guys for another Sunday of the Pay the Crew Radio Show. And we will see you guys next week.